All right, hitting your iron solid can be really easy once you get a few basic motions. And really what this is going to teach you to do is it's going to teach you to get power in an easy way to where you can go through that shot, get all this great extension like you see the great pros doing, and make sure that you hit the ground in the exact same spot every single time. I got a few drills. You don't have to have this exact equipment, but just follow right along with me and it's going to make a world of difference. So the first one is a hockey stick drill. Now, shows you how much I play hockey. I ordered this off Amazon. It's actually a pretty cool stick, carbon fiber, and I'll be danged if it's not left-handed. I didn't even notice because that's how little I've ever played hockey. This is probably the second hockey stick I've ever held in my life. But you can do a cool drill. You can do this with a broom. You can do it with anything. Take a club. A longer item like this would be best. But I'm going to put this across my shoulders. And what I'm going to work on is rotating my body through the shot. So what I don't want to do is I don't want to stop my body and throw my hands and arms. So that's that kind of stand-up flip. If you're losing your posture, this is what's happening. If you find yourself casting or flipping, this is what's happening. I want to go ahead and put something across my shoulders here, and I'm going to rotate my body through the shot to practice moving through that shot and staying in my posture. Now you'll see from this angle that I'm perfectly in my posture here, and I have to learn to use my feet to pivot. My feet have to actually move a little bit. My shoulders have to move to be able to actually hit this golf ball when I'm doing that. So you don't actually have to hit a golf ball with a hockey stick. That's not the point. It's just getting your body to move that way. You can get the same kind of sensation putting a club across your shoulders. You just want to actually be able to hit the golf ball because it's not long enough. Maybe if you have a really long broom, that will work. So do some reps there, and that's going to get you used to turning through the shot. The cool thing about this is even if you're not flexible at all, you could be the tightest, least flexible person in the world. As long as you let your feet open up and pivot, it's very easy to make this happen. One mistake that players will do is they think they need to keep their lead foot square to the ball. So if I have my toes pointing forward and I try to do what I just did there, it's absolutely impossible for me to get through that shot. For me, because I'm not super flexible, I'm going to go ahead and turn this left foot out, and I'm going to let that right foot come up off the ground. Just like in a good golf shot, that right foot comes all the way up. I'm going to do that slightly through impact. Now, if I can't reach the ball, all I do is get a little bit more knee bend. And from there, it's very easy. Again, I don't have to be flexible at all. Anybody can just rotate through this. If you're having trouble there, open the foot even more. There's actually, every single PGA Tour player does this in their real swing. Watch a driver swing. Even the ones that start with their foot square, as they rotate through, the feet open up like this and they'll finish in this kind of a position. So get that move down. If you do that, you can stay in posture, you can hit through the shot, you can get lag, you can get shaftly, and get all these great things that we want to have. Now to build on that, I want to get you the feeling of compressing the golf ball. And what I mean by that is if I'm going to hit this ball solid, or in other words, if I'm going to stop chunking it, I'm going to stop thinning it, and I'm going to consistently hit the ground and the ball at the same time, I need to get my hands in front. If my hands are behind the golf ball, I have to throw them, and it's a very inconsistent way to make contact. You see, if my hands are behind the golf ball, my low point is behind the golf ball. And my hands and arms are going to throw, and the club's going to flip past, and it's like there's a razor-thin margin for error. If I'm a little bit too down, I chunk. If I'm a little bit too up, I thin the ball, and it's an absolute nightmare for consistency. Now, what you're going to see with every single PGA Tour player, and I can't reiterate that enough, every single great player, there's never been one now or throughout history that didn't have their hands in front of the golf ball at impact. It's a universal thing. If you don't do that, it's impossible to play golf like you want to. Well, we need to learn to use the wrist in the proper way to make this happen. I want you to work along here with me. And what we're going to feel like is when you make your downswing, you're going to take the logo of your glove and you're going to face the golf ball with it. So it's almost like if you're going to take the logo of your glove and you're going to wipe it on the turf. I want to, again, stay in my posture. I'm going to feel like my glove is just wiping on the ground like that. Obviously, it's not. I'm way far away from that. But that's the sensation I want to have. That keeps me away from this flipping type motion where now my glove's back up toward me. Same thing with the palm of my right hand. I'm going to have it brushing the turf. I like to call it pet the grass with your right hand. Notice how when I do that, it's very easy for me to rotate my body on through. Those two motions that we're working on here match up perfectly together. Do a few more practice swings of that. Now you get the feeling of having the shaft lean as you're coming through contact. It's a little bit exaggerated, but that's what you need. You need it to be exaggerated so it actually happens. Now finally, This is the move. It's going to make your swing pretty. It's going to make you look good on the range. People are going to look over at you and they're going to wish that they had a swing like you. Once we get those two motions down, now I need to rotate my body and extend, and I really want to feel like my arms are reaching way wide through the shot. I like to feel like, and you hear Lee Trevino talk about this all the time, he likes to feel like this ball sticks on the face and you extend all the way through there. Really long arms. I don't want to fold up those arms quickly. Very inconsistent. I want to get that pet the grass feeling, and I want to keep it going down the target line all the way into my finish where my arms are really, really long. You want to feel like the ball sticks to your face, like you got to shake it off there. It's stuck to the face for so long. So let's go ahead and try that out. Going to let my shoulders rotate. I'm going to pet the grass, and then I'm really going to keep that ball on the face as long as I can, the feeling of that. There we go. I love that one there. I don't know if I've ever hit one better than that. So 203-yard carry with a 6-iron, 100 miles an hour at club head speed, and I felt smooth the whole time. I was letting my body action do the work for me rather than trying to hit at it, trying to flip at it with my hands and arms. And you'll be surprised how much easier it is. Now, when you're doing this pet the grass motion, the problem with that is most players have never had the feeling of squaring up the golf club the right way. Most players square up this face by throwing the hands at it. That's what gets the hands behind the golf ball at impact. So again, if I set this golf ball down here, if I throw the hands, I'm very inconsistent, but now my face is square. You can see that the face is pointing toward the target there. Well, that's not what the pros are doing. The pros are actually doing this. They're having the face this closed at impact. And then they're leaning the hands in front to get it back to square again. Now that's the pro position. Well, that's very counterintuitive. Almost nobody gets this right on their own. But I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do that. There's a drill I call the tennis racket drill, which is going to walk you step by step exactly what you do with the hands and wrist, exactly what you do with the club shaft and the downswing to get that pro move. All you need to do is go ahead and click one of the cards that pops up on the screen here. And don't worry, if you don't see the button that pops up there, just go down to the description below and click the link there. You'll get instant access to that tennis racket video where I walk you through it step by step. So I can't wait to share this with you. If you pair it with what we did here today, you're going to be playing some pretty daggone good golf. All right, I'll see you in the tennis racket drill. Good player problems. We're going to talk about shallowing that club shaft out as we're starting down, as we're doing this rotating of the face that we worked on in the last video. As we start this downswing, what you'll see with basically all of the top players is instead of coming kind of over the top and letting the hands come out away from their body, letting the club come out away from their body, again coming down steep into the ball and then having to open up, kind of fillet open the face and add loft to it. The flattening of the shaft should happen as soon as we start down. So as we start this downswing, what we want to have happening here, you can imagine that if I draw a line from the hosel of my club up through my right elbow, that's my swing plane line, my elbow plane. As I go to the top of the swing, I'm going to be slightly above that. And then as I start down, I want my hands to start to shallow out. I want the club to shallow out inside of this elbow plane. And at the same time, I'm going to be